Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 in a best of 3 between YueJin and Herr Robert, and this is round 1 of Chickendew's European tournament. So today we are seeing Cheux. Herr Robert's going to be taking out the Guards Armoured on the Allied side this time around, and YueJin's going to be playing the 9th Panzer on the Axis side. So a swap of factions, and it's interesting to see this matchup. It's honestly, in my opinion, in favour of the Guards Armoured early on. And that mainly comes down to the use of the Cromwell 7. I haven't really seen it very much in competitive play, but I am convinced that the Cromwell 7 is a fantastic unit for countering the 9th Panzer because it has 11th front armour, and there really isn't much that the 9th Panzer player has that can deal with it. So that's what I hope to see, but I doubt I will. What we tend to see instead is a use of the Humber Mark 3s and maybe just like normal Cromwell 5s and so on. And that generally sort of leads to that awkward engagement between the Panzer II Lux and the Humbers, which doesn't really fall in favour of the Humbers at all. There is, of course, the threat of these Marder 3s that you can see YueJin has placed one of on the top side. And the only way that really Herr Robert can get around that is a Cromwell 6, like maybe getting the pin and then charging it with another Cromwell, or maybe just, another AP vehicle of some sort. Just charging it down, finding the kill, because they only have 2 armour, so it doesn't take too much. But yeah, the Cromwell 6 can definitely be used to sort of pin the Marder because it does have that lower armor value. So that's the way that Herr Robert has to play around that on the top side. On the bottom side though, yeah, definitely a Cromwell 7 would be very, very welcome to sort of push through the like Panzer II Lux and like Panzer 1Cs and all that kind of stuff. Also these half tracks, they just go down very easily to that tank. We do see just 1 unit of infantry and a command here for Herr Robert so far. In the middle of the map, it's going to be a Piat squad with a 6-pounder and the recon there. Another 6-pounder for the top with a dingo. And then there's 2 recon squads up here with the Cromwell 6. It looks like he definitely wants to play around that Cromwell 6 pretty hard. For YueJin on the bottom side, there is going to be a Panzer 1C. There is the Panzer II Lux. We see the Sturm Pioneers coming out of YueJin with some Panzergrenz in there and command infantry. Speed troop to the centre with some Panzergrenz, and on the top side it's Panzer 1C, Marder 3 and the command. Okay, let's speed this up. We'll get the game underway and we're off. Okay, so no Cromwell 7 as usual. I always talk about it but we never see it. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong myself. But either way, Cromwell 6 is going to be coming in here. Probably going to go for some fire position shots onto this convoy when he starts to see it. He hasn't unloaded his recon yet, so let's see what he can have a look at. He can see the Marder 3. So that's an engagement we're going to have to wait for. The Willys MMGs are going to have to get the hell out of there. This one might be able to sneak behind this tree line. It's a really easy way to get some extra sort of territory there for the blue side. Might be able to push himself a +1. That would be quite nice. There's nothing on the bottom side though, so it looks like YueJin might be able to return the fight if they're down that side. His Panzer 1C just moving all the way through. Nothing there from Herr Robert to stop that. These rifles and motorized rifles are all that really stands in the way of this sort of mechanized and armored push coming out of YueJin. And I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Motorized rifles, they have the Piat there, but the Piat's just super unreliable. So the 20mm autocannon is going to be doing a ton of work. And there just definitely needs to be some armor down here. Internal fragment shot though onto Herr Robert's Cromwell 6 on the top side. That is devastating for Herr Robert. Getting the internal fragments is very, very important there. That just makes things incredibly difficult for Herr Robert to pin these guys now, because he won't find ammo until phase B if he doesn't have any supply in phase A. And that basically knocks the Cromwell 6 out of commission for another 8 minutes now. 6-pounder is trying to make some ground, but has been spotted by the Panzer Grenadiers. That's going to get hit by the MG fire there. On the bottom side, half tracks, looks like one of them's been killed. Actually, no, it looks like one came down to the bottom to stop the salient there. This one, however, has got a track will damage. So Reki gonna get spotted out by this half track. Panzergrenadiers are now trying to pin down these rifles. Stern Pioneers still full strength, moving towards the motorized rifles and motorized rifle leader here. These rifles were in this building. Looks like they were hammered and forced to fall back. Panzer II looks now going to be moving up to help deal with the infantry out of Herobert. This 6-pounder actually didn't end up taking any damage from the MG fire from the Panzer Grenadiers, which is odd. But either way, that's fine. Panzer Grenadier is going to be trying to push the tree line. We'll end up coming into line of sight of the Willys MMG and Dingo, so we'll take a lot of damage. There's also a rifle squad arriving there, but now there is also a mortar carrier on the top side for YueJin. This half-track does manage to surrender some rifles, as the motorized rifle leader was not covering those. This Panzer II looks now looking for some shots onto the M5 half-tracks. We see a honey, and does the Stuart 6 now come up, and that's going to be engaging the Panzer II looks. The main issue that's happening here is this Panzer II looks as a 2-star veterancy, so that could actually potentially do a lot of damage to a Stuart 6. But that Stuart 6 is a good choice to take care of the Panzer 1Cs and the Panzer II looks. Bit of a cheaper alternative to the Cromwell 7. On the top side though, this Panzer 1C is going to be rolling round that tree line, finding the Willys MMG. Not too much the Herobert can do about that. It will eventually fall in line of sight, I believe. Especially if that Panzer 1's moving towards the edge. Never mind, he's just going straight for the jugular there. So another Cromwell 6 now arriving on this top side. He can't afford to have that one internal fragmented as well. The other Cromwell 6 has moved to the middle of the map. Motorized rifles are being advanced on heavily by the Panzergrenadiers, but again, another unit not in range of the motorized rifles and the motorized rifle leader, and they get surrendered. These motorized rifles get hit by the flamethrower, forced out of that building. Just ground being made here for YueJin on the bottom side quite nicely. Second Panzer II Lux is arriving here as well. Looks like he's going to be trying to maybe go for a double team onto the Stuart 6, but the Stuart 6 does have line of sight onto the Panzer II Lux. That looks going to have to back off. There is just nothing that YueJin can do about that at the moment until this AT gun arrives. And arrive it has. Going to be unloading. Does have the veterancy from the Panzergrenadier. Might be able to find the kill down there. If that Stuart goes down, these Panzer II Lux are going to rip through this infantry and these half-tracks. Panzer II Lux coming out of cover. Going to be engaging at close range. Maybe try and find a critical there. Driver wounded from the Pak 38. Pak 38 is going to have plenty of time to get shots on target. And that's going to be a kill. The Stuart 6 goes down. We see the Panzer II Lux take out another half-track. Piat shot comes out of the motorized rifles. Does actually find the kill. Holy crap. Motorized rifles actually hit something. Let's give them a medal, boys. Panzer II Lux, though, is still alive back here. And the Stern Pioneer is going to run down those guys. Easy done. Stern Pioneers picking off that unit. But Panzer II Lux traded. So that's not too bad for Herobert. But this Panzer II now going to kill off the motorized rifle leader. And that's pretty much given the town entirely over to YueJin. Meanwhile, on the top side, the 6-pounder has gone down. There is, of course, still this mortar here. We have the Marder in the center. And yeah, I don't see there's too much that Herobert can do. He needs to get this second Cromwell 6 online and really go for like a pinning play onto the Marder 3 up here, and then sort of rush up his 6-pounder to get a shot onto that and maybe find the kill. But this 6-pounder doesn't have any veterancy, so it's actually pretty damn risky. Like in the last game, we saw him do the pin and push strategy with the 88s, and it worked because the 88s, they have high veterancy. But when the 6-pounders that he's using don't have high veterancy, there's not a reliable chance that they will kill, even if a unit is pinned down. So it's a lot harder for him to achieve in this, because he's playing the guards armoured and the veterancy is generally low across the board. Another rifles unit going to get surrendered there. there's been a real issue with like command in this town around his infantry. Again, sort of low veterancy command doesn't give the command radius that he needs to keep his troops from surrendering, and that has been something that YueJin has definitely taken advantage of in the bottom side. So great job by YueJin for sort of taking advantage of it. It's a bit of a mistake on Herobert's side though to not micro that appropriately and keep his infantry in that command radius. Now we see the arrival of even more infantry to this town. You're just going to reinforce that. Panzer II Lux still pushing forwards. Now we finally see a Cromwell 7 on the way. And this Cromwell 7 is just incredibly scary for Panzer II Lux and Panzer I Cs because there is nothing that can kill it. Like even this Pak 38, a max range engagement can't kill a Cromwell 7. It can fire at it, but it won't do any damage. On the top side though, Marder 3 has been allowed to get in range of the Cromwell 6, and that's that pretty much. 6-pounder gonna actually open up onto a half track. That is not good. He doesn't want that at all, because now he's given away the position of the 6-pounder, and the Marder 3 of YueJin can just kind of get out of line of sight. I mean, it's not even firing at the Marder 3, it's firing at the Panzer I C, which is very odd indeed. That's not targeted at all. So I feel like that's a pretty big mistake there from Herobert to miss that opportunity. Shooter has been knocked out on this Cromwell 7. It's just constantly taking fire from the Pak 38. What he needs to do though is fire position this Pak 38. He can't just afford to like have it sat there taking shots that quickly. So just like you would do with a Cromwell 6, you can do it with the Cromwell 7. Meanwhile, none of the tanks can push you because they don't have enough penetration to get through your armor. But now, with the Cromwell 7 forced back, Panzer II looks taking advantage of that. Half track's rolling up. There is no command here. That half track's just going for another surrender. Panzergren's still trying to make ground. Marder 3 is engaging in the center, taking out a 6-pounder that's been spotted by the spear troop. And things just aren't going well for Herobert across the board. This rifle squad has been fallen back, so doesn't look like there is going to be a surrender there after all. But now it's just a matter of getting this Cromwell 7 to kill off the half tracks and maybe the looks and so on. If not, go for a fire position onto the Pak 38 because it does have 5 HE on its main gun. That's the main reason that I love the Cromwell 7 so much. And if he can keep the Dingo with it, that would be absolutely perfect because he gets that extra little bit of veterancy to fire that a little bit faster, which will help it clean up the half tracks quicker and all of the other units. On the top side, we do see a Firefly coming in. That's going to be Herobert's answer to the Marder 3. And he also has the Panzer I C here, so we'll likely see both of those go down unless Herobert makes a big mistake with the Firefly as well. Cromwell 7 again being engaged by the Pak 38. You can see how much that Cromwell can actually pin a Pak 38. But Herobert just has to micro that appropriately. Going to take the shot at the Panzer II. Misses. Now I'm going to be taking shots at the Panzer Grenadiers. I feel like targeting in this game has been a little bit of an issue for Herobert. And now there's a +2 for YueJin. Things definitely falling away from Herobert. But the Firefly does find the kill onto the Marder 3. That is a good start indeed. There is no AT guns here. So Herobert could make a lot of ground. Like, he's seen 2 Marder 3s, and often when you have that many Marder 3s from Phase A, there's not many AT guns around because you don't have any AT guns left on your deck. But in this case, we're now in Phase B, so he's got to be a little bit cautious. But in general, he can take the opportunity to push quite aggressively now, in my opinion. Like, even if he doesn't know what's there, he just killed a Marder. And there's not much of a chance that there's actually much else there to stop him. So Firefly 5 just going to be continuing to push forwards. Some rifles were found and killed, well, surrendered. Firefly 5 still trying to find some shots. Not finding them yet though. Needs to now push up onto this Marder 3 and quickly because things aren't going in favour of Herobert. We see the Cromwell 7 here, that's going to be continuing to bounce Pack 38 shots. Where's your fire position, dude? It needs to happen. It needs to happen soon. Otherwise, the pressure down here is just going to be too much. This Willys MMG is causing a nice salient through the centre, which is kind of saving the skin of Herobert at the moment. Otherwise, it would be easily a +2 for YueJin. Spear Troop have been spotted though, and we see the arrival of more rifles. I quite like this rifle spam up onto this top side. That will help him sort of push through the tree lines and try and find out where any AT guns are. But this rifle squad dying before it before it unloaded is not good. Marder 3 is going to be engaging the rifles, but we have another Marder 3 sneaking down through the mid. I feel like YueJin's maybe going to go for like a two-prong attack onto the Firefly. And we can see here finally that Herobert's just going for that like fast move towards the Marder 3. But he's constantly being smoked off now, and the Pack 40 is in position. This is going to be scary for this Firefly. Unless the Firefly can like one-shot the Marder 3, this is just dead. Shooter knocked out onto the Firefly, needs to reverse right now. We see the Typhoon coming in. That's going to be going for the bombing strike onto the Pack 40. I like that response, it's very good. If those bombs hit the mark, yes, they're going to get the kill. So that's Pack 40 down. Firefly's safe, it's going to be using the smoke to hide. If it can recover its morale and then engage the Marder 3s again, that definitely puts Herobert actually in a nice position on the top side, but he's just got to make back that ground. We see the Cromwell 7 again moving forwards, this time going to be engaging the Pack 38. But the Pack 38 has really nice rate of fire. That's one thing you have to be a little bit careful of. So you can see, even though he doesn't really have much of a chance of penetration, there's still a chance, well, there's still like some morale damaging occurring here, and that's the main issue. And this Cromwell 7, I'm not sure if it's going to get off the last shot before it pins down a Pack 38. Like, it's not even going to pin it down unless it gets the full bar there, which it doesn't. So yeah, it's going to be forced back again. And now there's a Marder 3 here. Like, there's just been too much time on the board. The Cromwell 7 really only works like really well if you bring it in at the start of phase A, in my opinion. Otherwise you're just, you know, waiting for it to be countered by things like these Marder 3s, and now the Cromwell 7 can't do anything. These Panzers are free to roll forwards. YueJin can make even more ground. It's kind of crazy. We see a Pack 40 arriving here. That's going to be rolling into this tree line. That should have been briefly seen by Herobert, so if he is aware of, you know, the transport vehicles, then he should know that that's a Pack 40 on its way. Unless he missed it, which is very possible. It's not always easy to keep an eye on the entire battle at the same time, especially when he's being put under pressure on the bottom side. But that Pack 40 is going to move into the tree line, start taking shots at the Firefly. Marder 3 is going to come into range and start taking shots as well. Marder 3 in the mid has backed off, so that's not going to be engaging for now. Pack 40, can it do the job? It's got 6 strength. It finds the transmission damage. Marder 3 is now engaging, gets the crew knocked out. I feel like that Firefly is kind of dead. Yep, it's gone. And so is any chance of Herobert really winning this game, I feel. The Marders have just been very effective. Microed very well by YueJin. And there we have it. Herobert's going to surrender after 15 minutes and 59 seconds. Really well played there by YueJin. Knew what he had to do. He has to play around those Marder 3s in order to find an advantage against the Cromwell 6s. And I feel like Herobert just didn't have his micro on point with his own Cromwell 6s in order to pin down the Marder 3s before they could do damage. Like, we saw the first one get hit unawares and got internal fragmented, got taken out of the game for like 8 minutes. And then the second one came in and got killed. So that's not great. That's definitely not what you want to see. And that gave full control to those Marder 3s and then allowed the push of other units into key tree lines and so on. Like, especially on the bottom side as well. That Cromwell 7, it arrived a little bit too late, especially after the Stuart went down. I feel like maybe saving for like the Cromwell 7 instead of the Stuart might have been a nice idea. And then he would have had a unit to deal with all the half tracks and the Panzer II looks earlier on without being at threat of actually being killed by the AT gun, which came in. And you saw how well those Cromwell 7s can stay alive against Pack 38s. You just got to micro them appropriately and make sure that you pin them down before you fully engage them. Otherwise, they will beat you to the fullback. And we saw that in an engagement where both of the units were on like full morale, and then they were both on almost no morale, but the Pack 38 won out. So either way, Herobert this time around going to be losing out with a negative KD. Which makes more sense than the last game. 315 kills to 900 losses, and vice versa for YueJin. So the kills there, 4. Wow, the kills for Herobert very low. He killed 1 Panzer II Lux with that Piat that actually hit something, and then the next kills that came in were actually from the Firefly. So he didn't get any kills in like the first 10 minutes of that game, which is quite something. And then losses, it's all the Marder 3. This Marder 3 especially took out the 6-pounder, took out this Dingo. We see the Pack 38 killing off that Stuart. Panzer 1Cs, Panzer II Lux getting kills in there. This Marder 3 taking out the Cromwell. This Marder 3 taking out the Firefly. And that's it. So there we go. Congratulations to YueJin. He's going to be moving on to round 2 of Chickendew's European tournament to face off against Gonzo, who won the first best of 3 that I've already shown you guys. But we're going to be moving on to the next best of 3 in round 1, which is Dremora versus Magic Man. So look forward to that. In the meantime, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.